Welcome to this beautiful sunny morning at the B&B Hotel Ouistreham. It really is a lovely view from the window, and what's more, this hotel only cost €61 per night. Before I leave the hotel, however, I will give you a quick look around the room, and at me in the mirror. And good morning from Ouistreham. Passing the very large TV there up on the wall, and the window I just showed you, you can see the double bed down there, which was exceptionally comfortable. Over here is the desk with two decent European sized plugs and the air conditioning control on the wall, which also worked very well. A safe is down there in the corner and more plugs by the bed. All in all, a very nice and good value hotel costing only €61. Now it's time to head back down to the port to catch the bus into central Caen. And with that, welcome to Carl's Travel Channel, where every journey costs less than £200. Please sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. And always remember, the nearest exit may be behind you. To start on a nautical theme, this marine yard is located here, unusually straddling right across the main public road. The deep blue sky this morning really is glorious. A perfect day for sightseeing. We approach here the bus stop, which is located opposite the bar and restaurant Lego Land on the Avenue General Leclerc. As it says up there, you need the bus number 12 into the city centre. A look at the map for local services offered. Nice and easily on board. I must point out, however, that you can buy tickets for this bus on the Twisto app. You cannot use cards, only the app, or I think maybe cash. Be sure to download the app in advance of reaching the bus stop, as it takes a little while to set up and purchase the tickets, which you must activate with the driver when you reach the door. A look inside. As we pass one of Caen's many churches, the bus fare is only €1.50 each way at present prices. There is a nice open stretch of countryside down this dual carriageway, and the total journey time to the area of Caen Castle takes around 25 minutes. Google for some reason says 40 minutes, but I think that is the journey time to the Gare de Caen. Now don't nod off or fall asleep. Every time a field appears on one of my videos, I know you stop watching. Cough cough. People on YouTube are terrified of countryside and scenery. This big cinema complex was quite unusual. 25 minutes later, we've made it, and we're right outside the beautiful church in the centre of Caen. Come and join me for a little walk about. This is the church of St. Pierre, put up between the 13th and 15th centuries. A little like me, really. So here we are outside the Church of Saint-Pierre in Caen. The very impressive tall spire behind me was actually destroyed during the Second World War and has since fortunately been rebuilt. Hats off as we enter, and the look I got from that tourist is really quite a picture. Now let's see how many viewers the church will scare off, because that's another thing I have noticed in the viewing stats for previous videos. And wow, inside, as you can see, it really is quite stunning. Let's take one more last look at the spire in today's gorgeous sunshine, a lot nicer than when I was here last year in the video you can always see on my channel from November 2024, also in Ouistreham and Caen. Now let's walk from here and head back up to the Château de Caen, up on the hillside. map and some information about the chateau, the castle and its grounds. It really is impressively well preserved in its original layout. There is a very large and deep moat around it, which sadly has no water. The tall spire of the church is directly opposite, underneath the glaring sun. I make my way up onto the walls, or the barbican as it's known, and ironically, it was built by the English. And up on the top here you can then take a walk around the castle ramparts. And all of this of course is free, which is really very excellent. Oh, I see a big gun over here. Let's go and have a look. I wonder what it's aimed at. You've got to mind your footing. For some reason, I don't look too happy. Maybe it's the uneven surface, but it is a few centuries old. I love all these small, interesting sections, all open to the public and completely free, which is quite unusual. You can pause the video here if you like, on the attractions visible in the view. The other side here with a beautiful Tudor style building opposite. Down there is the Musée des Beaux-Arts de Caen, or simply in English, the Museum of Fine Arts. Now let's climb higher for more exploring. Wow, what a view! The church from up here looks very small, and there, my selfie stick just on the edge, you can see how high up we really are. The arrangement of 5 flags here is impressive, and indeed they fly proud. Adjacent to this section of wall is this restaurant attached to the art gallery with a large sculpture garden with these bizarre sculptures up on large stilts. The extremely well preserved street directly opposite here is really nice, and I'll go down and check that out in a moment and have a beer there. Gosh, we are now very high up on this section. I don't even want to get near the edge. It's giving me vertigo. We are almost level here with the tower of the church. So back down to the safety of ground level. I'm in the sculpture garden. This section I found really fascinating. It is an old, destroyed castle keep. Only remaining are the walls and the moats. It is called Le Donjon, from Anglo-French Normandy. If the castle keep was still there in the centre, it really would look very impressive. And up here from an alternative view above, you could see its foundations there, set in the middle of the square of the moat. One final view, this time looking northwest. On my way back down in this turret, I noticed there was some kind of weird sculpture thing in the middle. And here at the governor's residence, this has now been converted into the Musée de Normandie. It looks very closed though. Out of the castle on the little street directly opposite, which I promised you I would visit, and it really is quite quaint and interesting and very picturesque. And here we are in this beautiful old-fashioned town square in the centre of Caen, right by the Chateau. We decided to stop for a coffee in the oldest looking building on the square. It was really very excellent, and we even had a chat with a local resident. There it is, called La Paterne. It's like something from a storybook. The city has a very good transport network, including this new modern tram system, tickets for which are also on the Twisto app. One of my favourite sights in Caen is the statue of Joan of Arc. She resides on the aptly named Place de la Resistance. The statue is actually originally from Oran, Algeria, where it was put up in 1931. At the end of colonial rule in Algeria, the statue was moved back here to France, presumably on this date in 1964. Now another delight on this square, and something you know I love, is a giant sequoia redwood tree. Or, as per its Latin name, Sequoiadendron giganteum. And no, not the small shrub to the right, but the large, huge tree to the left here. It's a beautiful specimen, well shaped, with a perfectly luxuriant crown. And as it states on the plaque, it was a gift from California to Caen. It certainly is an immense size, possibly up to 100 years old. Our next destination is Caen's nearby Marina. This is the beginning of a much more modern district of the city with modern architecture, like the Bibliothèque just over the road here. We will go to see that a little closer in a moment. The Gare de Caen, or Caen railway station, is over there to the right. You could, if you wish, catch a train from there to Paris or Cherbourg. Now up close here at the Bibliothèque Alexis de Tocqueville, which was completed in 2016, a new multimedia library. And like last time, I do apologise about any of my translations. Behind here is a green square, which I think is mostly for the university. There is then this lifting drawbridge as you head back into town. Really quite fascinating. It's then coffee stop time, underneath these beautiful trees at the end of the marina. Our final stop in Caen was this large Catholic church, which, I must admit, looked very like a certain other famous cathedral in Paris. With its twin spires, maybe you could guess which one, and if you've not seen that video, it's on my Flixbus video from Paris to London. The bells! The bells! Adjacent to this church, I found this beautiful garden, hidden inside this courtyard of the offices of the Normandy Regional Council. Finally, it's time to dash back to the bus stop, where we must catch the number 12 from here, opposite the turret where we first arrived. Nice and safely on board, remember to activate your tickets in the Twisto app. Wow, what a change of scenery. We take the bus all the way back down here to the plage, or the beach, in Ouistreham. A little guide over here for some of the local residents that you may spot on the beach. I hope I don't see any of them on the ferry later. And what better could you ask for ahead but a boardwalk? Out on the boardwalk, down by the sea. Can you guess the song? So if you saw my London South Bank video, I actually went on the beach in London, whereas this is a real proper beach with some gorgeous, lovely sand. And not too cold really for the last day of September. And I see once again my hair has developed its wings for some extra lift. You won't believe what's down here. It's sand. Yes, sand. On a beach. As we approach our next destination, it looks like some lockers are provided here on the WCs, which are also conveniently on the beach. And of course, something that many come to Normandy for is time to remember our veterans. The plage here in Ouistreham was known as Sword Beach in the D-Day landings. The memorial here was inaugurated by President François Mitterrand in 1984, 40 years after the D-Day landings. Now let's go inside and pay our respects to its stunning eternal flame. And a few saluting and looking out over Sword Beach. Now who is this odd fellow? Maybe it's best not to ask. After all that walking, it's time for a much needed drink. Opposite the Texty, a store of many old clothes. Beer nicely finished, it's time to scurry off and get some food. I enjoyed this cheeseburger and fries. Luckily found somewhere also to charge my phone. We attempted to go to the Hotel de Fer for a last drink before the sailing, but they close at 9 PM apparently, despite saying they close at 10 PM on the door. So instead it's direct here to the Port de Caen, and luckily inside there is a bar and cafe. First of all, however, we will check in for our sailing. Check-in was nice and quick and easy. A very small half Guinness before sailing. A fast journey through security and then on the transfer bus to the ferry. And there she is, just coming into view, the Guillaume de Normandie. Unlike the Mont Saint-Michel, she is registered in Morlaix, just like the old Bretagne. The bus drops you off here and then you climb the footbridge. This is a much easier process than Portsmouth, since you do not have to wait for all the cars to board or leave the ship. The excitement increases as I cross the link span. And welcome aboard the Guillaume de Normandie. Oh, I wonder if these are the old racehorses from the former vessel. Passing the beautiful atrium on my way up the stairs, exactly the same as that on the Santona, which you can see on my video of her. Now to do what I always do when boarding a ferry and head up straight to the top of the outside deck to get a good overview of the port and its surroundings. The ship looks really clean and sparkly and new. And there it is, the classic lifebelt of the Guillaume de Normandie, Morlaix. And as usual, the first thing I do when I come on to a brand new ferry is walk up on deck. So welcome aboard the Guillaume de Normandie, and she smells all nice and fresh and new with new paint. A quick view there down over the Port of Caen. The cars have all finished loading. I like the way they have painted the walls on this vessel, making it look a bit more colourful. She was delivered and entered service this year in 2025, April to be exact. She has the capacity for 1,310 passengers and 460 cars. I have no idea why it was spelt like that. At the rear is this nice undercover seating area. And a view down there of the glass roof into the atrium. Above there to the front behind, I think, is the helipad. unlike the older ships, the doors are not stiff and open quick and easily. And inside here are some hiding, missing deck chairs. Music was playing in the bar. It was a nice atmosphere, but muted of course, for YouTube. Pints are €6, and they accept both UK sterling and euros at the bar. Some nice artworks on the wall, however the view from the windows is not great, restricted by the lifeboats. Sadly a side view of the entertainment, however it was really very good, and a great singer. I've talked over the music in case of copyright. Myself and two friends have almost finished our drinks. The bar was relatively busy earlier on, but it's now very quiet, and I certainly never saw any queues. Well, I am now the last person in the bar, and now the ship is very quiet. It's time to have a look around when there's no people in the way. We begin the tour from the bar, past the stage and the rest of the seating area here, to the left where there is the games room, and wow, you're in for a treat. Look at the size of it compared to the one on the Mont Saint-Michel in my previous video. It really is very small. A photo booth is in there too, in case you forgot your passport I guess. The children's play area is in there to the right. Through here is all seating for the planche bar, which is the same bar as the other side. The area just extends round. Down here there are the toilet facilities, and there is a wheelchair and disability friendly toilet. Further towards the bow is this nice little quiet seating area, which follows all the way through, right down to the end here, which is the Café de Port, or the snack bar from the Mont Saint-Michel, and you can see in through the shuttered up windows. I'll try it out for a coffee in the morning. This, I must admit, is a very nice touch, a moving map of all of Brittany Ferries vessels. Right, it's time now for my final activity of tonight, for which I must head up the stairs. And regular viewers, you should know what it is by now. Have you guessed what it is yet? Let me know below. Heading back past the forlorn deck chairs. I love that fresh air feeling out at open sea. It's certainly something I do not get back home in London. A play area is provided over here to the right. I have no idea where her flag has gone. An incredible view of the air and dark pitch blackness over her stern. With the shiny new modern decks, the cars look like toys down there. And now, of course, before going to bed, it's time to do what I love doing and take a midnight stroll out on deck and embrace that sea air. Weirdly tonight though, and unusually, it's not bracing, brisk wind or ferocious waves. It's really quite calm and still and silent, and perfect time to take in the surroundings. Sadly though, as usual, probably because of the brightness of the ship, there's not any stars visible. Behind me here is the exercise yard and exercise bikes, available free for use throughout the crossing. And I really do love this finishing touch of the Brittany Ferries side. Back downstairs in the warm, it's time to navigate the maze of corridors to my cabin. This is on deck 7. Now, where on earth is it? There's a cow on the wall here. Maybe I was in the bar too long. dear, I think I'm a trifle lost and going round in circles. Ah, here we are, 7335. Now, will the notorious keycards let me in? Amazing, incredible, it works, first time. One of the strange oddities, however, is the LED window, which, on the Santona, is showing the sea. Here, we're in a rainforest, very similar to the English Channel, I suppose. A small desk there is provided, remote control for the TV, and an array of plugs, as well as a useful television. I didn't try it, though, on this crossing. This is an inside four-berth. Reading light above the bed. More plugs there for use when you're in bed for your charging your devices. And of course, I've got my trusty European plug I take with me now everywhere, as it avoids the need for taking a big heavy UK adapter. The heating or air conditioning control, which I must say works very well. Underneath the bed here is some kind of strange drawer, which only part pulls out. I have no idea what this is for. If you know, let me know in the comments below. The bathroom, with shaving plug as provided, soap dispenser, paper cup, and of course a good shower, which I must admit on the E-flexors are really powerful and nice. The water temperature also seems consistent. Finally, hidden behind the room door is a little cupboard area and coat hangers. The usual evacuation safety instructions on the door. Time now to hop into bed and get some much needed sleep. With that, good night from the Guillaume de Normandie and the English Channel. I will see you in the morning.
And good morning from Brittany Ferries. And wow, yeah, that was a very short night's sleep. Well, after a very nice and powerful shower, hopefully I'm ready for the morning. So, here we go.
Bonjour, il est maintenant 6 heures. Nous espérons que vous avez passé une agréable nuit à bord du Guillaume de Normandie. Notre arrivée à Portsmouth est prévue dans 45 minutes. Le petit déjeuner vous est actuellement proposé dans nos espaces restauration du Rivabella au pont numéro 7, ainsi qu'au jardin et au café du port au pont numéro 8. Nous vous souhaitons une excellente journée. Good morning. It's now 6 o'clock. We hope that you had a restful night on board the Guillaume de Normandie. We will be arriving in Portsmouth in 45 minutes. Breakfast is now being served in our restaurant Rivabella on deck number 7. As well as le jardin and the café du port located on deck number 8. We wish you a pleasant morning.
Downstairs there on deck 6 are the Cowcheck Pluses, which is like a small capsule hotel just above the car deck, and they cost only £12 for this crossing. I went to grab a small breakfast from the snack bar, a cafe latte, croissant and a small orange juice. This cost €6.50. An early morning stint on deck to get that fresh morning air, and wow, what a glorious red sunrise. There's just time now to go through the trip costings, which count for this trip and also my previous trip from Portsmouth to Caen. The return Brittany Ferries ticket was £26. The onboard cabin was £64 and the B&B hotel in Ouistreham was £52. The train home, £12.50. That makes a total trip price, including the outbound bus and train, of £182, under my £200 budget. Now enjoy the sunrise over the Stena Vinga, operating of course with DFDS to Jersey. And a Saga Cruises ferry, which sadly I neglected to write down the name of. If you know, please let me know in the comments. The Saga Cruises vessel had also just come in from France and was sailing out later that day to Spain. After almost missing it, I find the ship's plate. She's hull number W0275, built in Weihai, China. Back downstairs, foot passengers must wait on deck 7 to depart, so I find here the now closed duty-free store. Let's go for a little walk around while we wait. Down here on deck 7, there are more toilets, including accessibility friendly, and I don't know what this strange temporary curtain is hung up there, but at the end is the Riva Bella a la carte restaurant, and here on the wall is the menu. €12.50 for a continental, or €18.50 for a traditional breakfast. As one of my regular viewers told me, I should try that one day, but alas, on this sailing, it's too early for breakfast at all. Oh, and now arriving back, they've turned the lights on inside the duty-free store. Let's go and have a quick look so you can see inside. All of the usual duty-free merchandise in there. Finally, the cars have departed, and we're on the foot passengers transfer bus out of the ship. And that's it, and we are off, back on dry land, as they say, just as the water runs down the window. With that, thank you for watching Carl's Travel Channel. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.